All right, digital applications, welcome back. We are doing the next episode in our PowerPoint assignments. So let's get into it. All right, so going from Microsoft Office, here is the PowerPoint that we have completed so far. Okay, from the original presentation on through our different slides. We most recently added Smart Art. Okay. Now, so a couple things that we're going to kind of go through here. First off, kind of a little quick thing is learning how to add in a footer. Okay. So what we're going to do on any slide here, it doesn't matter which one you're in. You're going to go to the Insert tab and we're going to look for footer. Okay. Now you have an option to just put in a slide number, or you can click on the footer button, which will expand your options here on the right hand side. What I'd like you to do is click a checkbox next to footer, and here I'd like to put your name. I'm going to type student name, but you please put your own first and last name, capitalization. We're also going to choose to include slide numbers. Okay, and we can see that these things are popping up as we click those. Typically, when you're looking at like a title slide, you'll have your own name up here. It's the first slide, so you usually, a lot of times, will leave that information off of the title slide. So I'm going to click Don't Show on Title Slide. And if I just walk away from this here, I'll notice that that footer doesn't appear on my other slides. Well, what I can do is I can click Apply to All, and that will put that footer on all of my slides. Okay? Now, in the Office 365 version, I think that this gets a bit weird if we want to modify it. So if I want to change that, let me check this out really quick. Yeah. So if you want to make any like stylistic changes to this footer, change its color, give it a different font. Let me do a little experiment here. I'm going to change the color and I'm going to click Apply to All. Now, so this is a little limited. It's different on the normal, desktop version of the program, but here in Office 365, if you do want to make any kind of stylistic changes to that footer, the color, the font size, etc., you're going to have to do it individually to all your slides, and that's not ideal. So using the default is kind of nice. Really, it's just kind of added information at the bottom here. Although you can modify it and you can drag and drop it if you choose to. Okay, I'm not going to have you do any of that stuff. I just wanted to show you that this is customizable after you put it in there. Okay, so what do I want you to do? From any slide location, you're going to add your footer, slide number. You can click Don't Show on Title Slide, and you're going to click Apply to All so that you have it on all of your slides. None of that other stuff. You don't need to make any additional changes. All right, I'm going to close out of my footer, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add another slide. Okay, so we're going to go New Slide. We're going to use a title and content. I'm going to add it. And what we're going to do here is we're actually going to add a video. Okay, so here I'm going to go into my video here. Let's get a title first here. We're going to do Inserting Transitions, which is a topic we've already discussed. And to help us talk about this topic, we're actually going to look online for an expert who maybe knows a little bit about the topic. So we're going to click on this button right here, which inserts a video from the internet, or a URL. Now we need to put in a video URL. Okay, the video that we're going to use is from a famous person. It's found right here. It is my PowerPoint assignment 4 video, which talks expressly about transitions and animations. Okay, so you can either find your way to this YouTube video, this is PowerPoint assignment 4, and copy and paste the URL. Or I'm also gonna just for ease, just to make it easy, I'm gonna paste this link into the assignment write-up when I post it. Okay, so you can copy and paste it from there as well. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to press Control V to paste that in there, and I'm going to insert my video. A little bit of waiting, and this pops up. I get a designer preview, but I'm actually not going to use that designer preview because I got my own ideas here. I'm going to close that. Now, when I have this video available here on my slide, I have a contextual tab. It's called Shape. So for some reason with Office 365 it puts this video into a shape. That's a little limited in some ways. Again, I kind of like working with videos on the desktop version. There's some more things cooler things we can do with the video, but for now this really just gives us an opportunity to honestly, a lot of this stuff doesn't matter. They have a shape fill, but that shape fill isn't going to show over the picture, nor would you want it to. So really the only thing that this is good for is for creating an outline. Okay, we're going to go ahead and, we've developed this kind of theme with a previous slide. So I want to go with some of that squiggle effect. I'm going to click on my video, my shape contextual tab. I'm going to give this an orange outline. Now you can't really see it very well, it's pretty thin. So I'm also going to make it much bigger, 4.5 points. And I'm going to give that a sketched scribble effect to give it this kind of scribbled outline, okay? Just because I'm going with a theme here. All right. I want to make this video a little bit larger. It's important with videos and pictures that you always use the Shift key while you drag this out. The Shift key, I'm holding it down while I'm doing this, is going to keep it from getting squashed or stretched, all right, which is really not going to be good for your video. All right, we want to get this kind of nice and big, just a little bit bigger than it was before. And I'm going to scooch it off to the right, making sure, I don't know if you can see under my image, the page number is right here. So I want to be mindful that wherever I place this, that I'm not covering up the page number, okay? But I want it kind of scooched off to the right because we're going to do some stuff over on the left. All right. Other things that we can do here, we'll talk about that in just a second, okay? The Arrange tool in a different context that makes more sense. All right, so what we're going to do now is we're actually going to add a couple of text boxes. Okay, here we're going to go into the Insert tab. And in the Insert tab, which we're very familiar with, there is this text box button. I'm going to click on that, and it's going to add a text box just kind of any old where. Let's drag it over here into the white space, and we're going to provide our viewer with a couple of definitions, okay? So the first thing that we're going to do is we are going to write what are transitions. Transitions, spacebar, effects that move from one slide to the next. That's what a transition is. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to insert another text box. Boom. Kind of drag it over. You're going to notice that when you drag this text box over, these little red kind of lines are going to appear, and they're trying to help you kind of line things up nicely. All right? I'm just going to, okay. So here we're going to type in animations, effects that reveal, enhance, or remove objects on a slide. All right, we've got two definitions. We're going to do one more text box here. I actually, while this shape thing is open, I think I can just click on this text box button here. So it's an alternate location for the same action. And down at the bottom here, I'm going to put a little call out. So we're going to do this video by Mr. Andrew Cifaldi, the one and only. All right. Here we're going to add a little bit of effects to make these text boxes look nice. Okay, I'm going to click on the top text box, click in my shape tool, and here I'm going to give it a shape style. Okay, let's go ahead. We're going to give this one the color filled gold accent 5. Boom. And I want to make that definition, the vocab word, really stand out. So I'm going to highlight and bold that, Control B. I'm going to go to my next text box, and I'm going to apply a shape style here. So we're going to use colored fill brown accent 6. Boom. Again, I'm going to go ahead and bold my vocabulary word to make it stand out nice. Okay. And we're going to go down to video by Andrew Cifaldi, and I want to make this look nice and fancy, so I'm going to highlight my text. I'm going to change the font to Gabriola. Looks nice. All right, and I want to align this a certain way, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put this on a center alignment. That's going to help me kind of align my objects in just a second. Okay, so what I want to do, and let's just say I didn't know how big this box was going to be, so I kind of offset this and I didn't line things up really nicely. Okay, what I can do is I can take my objects, and if I click on one, hold Control, click on another, hold Control, click on another. So now I have, using the Control click, I have 3 objects selected. What I want to do is I want to line these up nicely to make it look more professional. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go up to this, I can find this a couple locations. I see it right here. This is the Arrange tool. It's also in the Shape Contextual tab here in the Arrange button. I am going to align these objects, and I'm going to choose to align their centers. Boom. All right. Now I can see they're nice and neatly lined up without me having to do much work. My name, because it's centered, also kind of rests really centered underneath these boxes. While I still have them arranged or selected, all 3 objects, I'm now going to try to bring this, and this I am going to rely a little bit more on my eye to kind of bring these 3 objects kind of in a center location around here. I'm just looking at evening out the white space around here just to make it look nice. Okay, so we've got our footer. You're going to have your own student name here. We've got the page numbers. We've got a video that can play, and we've got our text boxes that we're using in a couple of different ways. All right, so I think that's plenty for our activity today. The only thing I also want to note with you is that when we created our new slides in the last 2 episodes, the new slides absorb the transition from before. Now remember that if we go ahead and we review this from the current slide, let's see, I'm going to go, and we've got our airplane. That's an intense effect, and I told you guys, oh, I stand corrected. What it did is it absorbed the transition that was applied to all, not the transition of what was before it. So that's good. Okay, so I think we're all set. We're done for the week. You guys have a good weekend, and I'll see you on Monday.